Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, episode 422. I'm Sanjay Parekh.
And I'm Adam Walker, and I'm fully caffeinated. So we're gonna have a great show. Ready? I'm ready for you. I'm ready. What do you got, Sanjay? Let's go.
I gotta say, these episode numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger. I have to think about how am I gonna pronounce the episode number every time. I think at some point we're gonna get to a number that I'm gonna be like, I don't know how to.
You're gonna be like, we're episode 5,300 and
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
5379.
By the time we're in the 5,000s, I think we should calculate how old we'll be. Like, yeah, we'll be struggling to pronounce lots with the dentures and stuff by then. It'll be great. It's gonna be so
dentures
good.
I'm planning on keeping my teeth. I don't know about you. I floss every day.
I mean, flossing's overrated. So
flossing is overrated. You heard it here, first, folks.
So many things are. We got a good episode for you today. We got a lot of AI, a little bit of Mythos. We got some big tech stuff, some surveillance stuff that Sanjay's just going to really enjoy. And then, of course, Weird and Wacky with something that I think you need, Sanjay. And, of course, Tech Recs at the end. So let's get started. Mythos finds a curl vulnerability, but then there was another article I read about how Mythos is overrated. So is it?
Well, this article kind of says that. So originally Mythos found 5 vulnerabilities. Yeah. And they were like, well,
other tools.
3 of them were kind of bugs, not really vulnerabilities.
Right.
One of them wasn't anything.
Right.
And there was one legitimate vulnerability.
Right.
That was not really a high severity thing. It was kind of like okay, we'll get around to fixing that. Not really that big
That's
of a
how
deal.
I feel about most vulnerabilities. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine.
My password's 123. We're good. I don't see the problem.
Let all the Chinese bots in. It's fine. Everything will be fine.
So do you think that Mythos is it more marketing? I mean, it feels like the stuff we've read is scared the crap out of people. But is that?
It's hard to say. I think I mentioned before. I talked to somebody who was a product manager in a large organization that had access to it, and they were using the heck out of it, and they said it was pretty good. And this person did not have access because they're very tightly controlling who can actually do things with it. But this story about curl, which is very widely used, and maybe that's the thing, is that it's so widely used that they've stamped out all the bugs. And there's not really many vulnerabilities there. So maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I'm sure it's better than what we've got right now with Opus. 4.7.
Sure. Yeah.
But is it really
is it that scary? Well, I mean, read the next article because that seems kind of scary.
Yeah. So next up, Anthropic's Mythos is already finding security flaws in Apple software. I think this highlights actually the thing that we were just talking about, right?
Okay.
So you talk about a piece of software like curl, which is very focused. It's got one job, right? It's to go fetch things for you.
Right.
And you go talk about Apple software, which is like this monstrosity, like all operating systems are, right? It's got to do a lot of things.
Right.
And there's lots of opportunities for things to go wrong when you build something like this. So maybe the story should be Mythos is really good at hacking very complicated software, but things that are simple, it's probably not going to make a difference. Yeah.
I mean, or to your point also, it could be that complicated software is more likely to have more vulnerabilities because of its level of complication versus curl that's so widely used and so straightforward and has one task. That's very different, right? So
and it's hard to find because the code base is so complicated that you need a tool like this to help you figure it out, because honestly, there's just so much code you can have stored in your brain at one time to really think through kind of the implications of things all the way across.
Yeah. Next up, hackers used AI to develop first known zero-day two-factor authentication bypass for max exploitation. Does that mean two-factor authentication is becoming less effective? Well, I mean, what are your...
I think the take here is that whoever this is, which was not named, by the way, by Google, just probably implemented it wrong. Honestly, I mean... That's like all security things, right? If you don't
You're doing it wrong. You're
implement it right, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be safe. So it doesn't really matter at that point. So
it's like when you install a car seat. If you install it incorrectly, Like they're basically dead from day one. Like
Yeah,
everybody knows it. If you install
you
it
might as well
facing
just
the
throw the
wrong
kid.
direction, you know, like it's not going to work. Right.
You might as well just throw the kid in there and just let
Yeah.
him bounce around.
Yeah.
Because they're the car seat. You know, I honestly, like you mentioned that, I always worried about that. Am I doing it right? I would be back there listening.
You're never doing it right. Like car seats are like, it's never ever right. And like that's how you know.
Well,
you know it's never right. So
I'll tell you, like when they moved, I don't know if you've done this. Your kids are probably too old now for you to have done this. Maybe the latch and the tether system that they have in cars.
Oh yeah.
That system is way better.
Oh, way better. Yeah, we've done both. We've done both.
Have you done both?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we've done both. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, way better.
I think we had it at some point, or we've done it at some point for somebody else. And like the security that you have in that versus like pulling the seatbelt through and then like latching the thing.
And then it's like cattywampus. It's like, they're sitting sideways. It's not moving, but they're sitting at a 45-degree angle. That's cool, right? Like that's fine.
But it kind of wiggles still a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Latch and tether. Yeah. Whoever came up with that technology.
Smart cookie. You're a smart cookie.
Rocking it.
Yeah.
Next up, Apple could open up iOS 27 to competing AI models. And that's kind of a big deal, I think.
And I saw another article that said that ChatGPT is planning to sue Apple. I'm assuming because Apple was originally going to integrate with ChatGPT and does. But man, if I could use Claude with my Apple stuff as my default like thinking, that would be amazing. I would absolutely love that. So I'm here for it.
It's a fascinating move because Apple traditionally is not known as an open ecosystem.
Not
where
at all.
You can just do. They like no. We're going to decide for you what you get to do and what you don't get to do.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a very, very interesting move. And I wonder what this kind of like, it would be fascinating to understand the decision-making process that happened. We'll never know it because then that would probably open up to lawsuits. But like, how did they decide to go around to this approach versus the traditional Apple approach?
I have a theory. I mean, I think the traditional Apple approach is we know what's best for you. We know what works best. We know what best fits you, and we're gonna force that upon you. And I gotta say, like 90% of the time, they're not wrong. Like they're really not. But I think with AI tools, I don't think they do know what's best for people. And I think different people have different preferences and have in the different use cases. And therefore it kind of makes sense for them to like go, okay, we're not going to be prescriptive here because we don't really know it. Like that's my theory anyway about what must have happened. Now, I mean, like to your point, who knows? That'll never come out, but it's fascinating nonetheless. Yeah, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, the way you position that, it kind of makes me think of the way Apple acts is like your very techie best friend. Just. You don't worry about it. Let me figure this out. I've got the time. I'm going to do all the things and figure out what's the best one, and I'm just going to give it to you.
But
so you don't ask questions.
That's exactly Apple. Like you just described Apple perfectly.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
And
that's
honestly,
how they act. That's how they like. A lot of times people ask me like, okay, what should I do? And then I'm like, well, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I'm going to do that.
But to me, like because I don't have bandwidth to like worry about settings and worry about tech. Like the Apple's great for me. But for like, if you've got bandwidth to like go that extra mile and be that extra level of techie, like Android's great for that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I'm an Apple guy right there. Is I just need it to work. I don't care if it doesn't have all the features that Android does. I'm good. So,
Apple is your best friend who's a super techie.
Yeah, that's right.
Telling you what to do.
So I'm gonna start referring to you and Mickey as Apple. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm like, what's up, Apple? How y'all doing? Good to see y'all. So, all right, introducing Google Book, designed for Gemini intelligence. This seems to be like a cross almost. Like it's almost like a Chromebook, but kind of like a tablet, like a thing.
But I think what they're doing is they're merging, right? So it's finally, I think they're getting rid of Chrome OS essentially.
Okay.
By merging in, and I think the smartest thing they did here was add in support for Android and Android apps. So they mentioned this in the article, like, hey, if you're on your laptop and you get hungry, you want to order from your phone app, you know, like food to get delivered, just open it up on the desktop, on the laptop there, on the Google Book.
Yeah.
Is that what they're calling it? Google Book?
I think so.
Yeah, Google Book.
I don't like that name.
I don't like that name either. That's why I had to
This should be Goo Book. Goo Book would be way better. Yeah. Yeah. It rolls, it's more concise. It rolls off the tongue better. Goo Book. I'm going to go get my Goo Book, you know, like I'm just
Hey,
Google Book. It's just too many. It's Google Book. I need a double Google Book. It's a Goo Book. It's an iPad. It's a Goo Book. It's a it's a G Book. I don't know.
G Book. I think G Book is better.
Yeah, it's probably better than Goo Book.
OG Book.
What? So I mean, is this a device you're gonna get? Is this for like what is this for? Who's the market?
I have no idea. I mean, I think I've said this on this podcast multiple times. I'm a huge framework fan now.
Yeah.
I used to be a huge Dell fan.
Yeah.
And solely because I used to buy the support packages from Dell for like whatever it was 5 years, and they would just show up to wherever you were with parts and fix your thing.
Dang. That's crazy.
And so, show up at home, show up at a Starbucks, show up wherever, and they would just take care of it. I didn't have to go anywhere.
I would really like to see a Dell technician show up at a Starbucks and disassemble a laptop right there on the table. Like that would just be the greatest.
I had them do that once.
No.
Yeah.
Are you freaking serious?
I am serious.
At Starbucks?
Yep.
That's the great. I wish do you have photos? I need photos of that.
I don't have photos of that.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I mean, he took out his little anti-static thingy, laid it out, took the laptop, started unscrewing it, did all the things, replaced the part, put it all back together.
Were all the baristas looking at you with like daggers, like, you're taking a table, I hate you, like that?
No, I had my drink.
Give you some
I
free
was
coffees.
Good. I bought my hot chocolate. I even offered to buy him one, but
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
He was good. Can't really drink a coffee while you're working on a laptop because that could be disastrous. So
yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah.
Who's up next?
I think it's you.
This is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you found this because I started looking at the company. Dude. But Lovable just backed a company that's looking to bring vibe coding to hardware.
Yeah. And
so
they backed the fund that backs the company, I think, really. And they put like 800,000 in the fund, maybe that backed the company or something like that. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you can't buy it yet. It's on pre-order.
Right.
But basically, it's a stock device that you can then plug little modules into. Okay. And then you can chat with the AI through the browser of what you want the thing to do. And it figures out all the firmware and then downloads it to the device. And now the device does that thing.
Okay. So, but like, what are the components? Like, does it have like a little arm, and you can be like, I want you to stack these Legos? Is that?
No, it's not like that. Let me pull it up. I mean, there's like a temperature sensor. There's a knob. There's a speaker. So the bigger kit has a motor, a microphone, a light grid, a button, USB ports, orientation sensor, temperature and humidity, distance sensor, and a screen.
Oh, okay. Now I'm better understanding. So you'd be like, when the temperature hits this, do this thing, output this data, like that sort of thing. More
right.
Like. Okay.
Oh, when you hear the dog bark, then light this up.
If you hear the dog bark and it's above 80 degrees, fire this off and it's going to open my back door to let my dog in. You know, like that's.
This is like, if you remember, now I'm thinking about this, the beginning of Back to the Future, and Doc Brown had that whole automated thing to feed the dog, Einstein, dog food on a schedule when he wasn't there.
That's right.
You could do that with this, I think.
I like that a lot. I would like to see a modern day version of that. That would
Back to the Future?
No, just a modern day version of that setup to feed the dog. Like I would like to see what's the current tech stack version of that rather than toasters or whatever else? Like, is there like a Bluetooth tea kettle that does something, or like, I don't know. Like,
well, I mean, if I recall correctly, his device that did this was a little bit of a Rube Goldberg type of machine.
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff going on just to do
I want to see that, but with modern tech devices. Like, I want to see like an Android phone that like does like falls over and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel like that'd be great, you know? A DSLR that does something. I don't know. So I don't know what you'd want a DSLR to do. It seemed pretty fragile to me, but whatever. I mean,
take pictures.
I would like to see a modern day remake of Back to the Future. I think that would be absolutely epic. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but that would be epic. They're remaking everything else.
So pretty interesting. I don't know, or it could just ruin the whole franchise.
Yeah, I mean, who could play Doc? Like, he's such a unique individual. Like, who?
Yeah,
I can see a few different people who play Marty, but Doc, like, come on, that's a tough one, you know?
Yeah.
So
Biff
I mean,
too,
maybe Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell could play Doc. I think could probably get
Will Ferrell probably could.
Will Ferrell could pull that off. 100%. I vote for Will Ferrell as Doc, and we do a remake. I don't have an opinion on Marty. So
why don't we pick out all the people that should play all the characters, and then just feed it to an AI and say, make this movie for me?
That would be that's not a terrible idea. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Data centers are cutting power to homes, driving homeowners to solar and batteries. Okay. Yeah, was this the article where they just went to homes and they're like, hey, we're cutting your power because it's got to go over here? Was that this article?
They're going to lose 75% of their power because of
it's going to go to this data center
centers
that you didn't know anything about. And go figure something out.
Yeah, and they're cutting off power to all of these homes. So
can you just like willy-nilly cut off power? Like you can just randomly do that? Like that's the thing?
I didn't think so. I thought as a public utility, like you had to serve all the people.
That was what I thought.
Like,
but it feels like maybe that's not the case when
rules.
a certain amount of money is involved.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I don't get. First, okay, look, I like the second part of this, that people are going to solar and batteries. That is a good thing.
Yes.
Being forced into it is not a good thing. But here's the other part of it.
Savings for that crap. Come on, man. All right, go
ahead.
Right,
exactly. Yeah. But here's the other part of it. You're building these huge data centers to do AI stuff, presumably that people need.
Yep.
But then you're cutting people off from power.
Yep.
So the people that might need the AI stuff now can't get access to the AI stuff because they don't have power.
I mean, if we're being real,
what is the point of all this?
The data centers are being built way out there, and the power users for AI are probably not as much way out there. So they're probably not that. I mean, from a company perspective, not that worried about it. Now, I think it's horrible.
I know.
But
I think you're right, but I think it's wrong.
I will say this: I am perpetually surprised by the number of people that are also in technology that when I start talking about the things I'm doing with AI are utterly shocked by what can be done. Like just dumbfounded. And like these are people in technology, in marketing. And I'm describing like things that I believe to be pretty basic. And they're just like floor. I was on a call this week with somebody. He's just like, you did what? And I was like, yeah, I did this and this and this and this. And I built my own personal app for this and I did this and this. And he's like, how did you do? I mean, just shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all aren't. I mean, listen to Tech Talk Y'all, man. Come on. What are you doing?
Well, there's that. But I think there's definitely, I've been listening to some podcasts about AI stuff too. I like, if you look at the overall population, like, I don't know how many are not using AI, but I think it's still a pretty good portion.
Great portion, yes.
And then the ones that are using AI, I think there's the vast majority are basically just asking random questions.
Oh, it's just Google. It's literally just Google for
exactly.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
There's a very small sliver at the top
that are
really like. Exactly. And actually my tech rec is something that will help you crush it. And it'll be fun to talk about.
I feel like your tech rec is going to be too techie for me. I've already seen it. I'm very curious about how I could leverage it. Cause I'm like, it's weird, right? Because like on the AI scale, like I feel like I'm in the top 1%, but I feel like you're still like way above me in terms of some of this usage stuff, even so, but then you're not doing other goofy stuff that I'm doing. So like, it's this weird thing, right? You know,
it's like where you want to spend your time and where do you think it's actually moving the needle for yourself. So I think you're 100% right. So, but it is interesting. I think people need to really understand how this stuff works, and make sure that they are very adept at some of this stuff, because I think if you don't, you're going to miss the train at some point, and it's going to be a problem. Right now, I still don't think that AI, and we've talked about this before too, AI is not going to eliminate all jobs or anything else like that.
But it will eliminate the people that aren't using it, for sure. That's
or
what's
make
happening.
It a lot harder for you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to the point, like where, like, you know, I'm a marketer, right? I went to meet with a potential client yesterday. And I had an extra hour before going to meet, and it was to do some stuff for like a minor kind of product that they're trying to surface and get out.
Yeah.
So I had an hour. So in that hour, I redid their brand using Claude Design and redid their entire website. And I was like, hey, before our meeting, like, here you go. Just take a look at it. You know, maybe helpful for our conversation. But like I can do a brand and a website in an hour now that should have cost $50,000 worth of work and should have taken 6 months.
Right.
5 years ago, that would have been the case. So, and it's genuinely good work. Like it's I mean, it's not the final product. There's too much other stuff that has to go into it, but it's good, and it's way better than what
I'm very impressed with cloud design. But let's move back to data centers.
Yeah.
Irresponsible backlash as Utah approves data center twice the size of Manhattan.
40,000 acres. 40,000. I can't conceptually understand the scale of 40,000 acres. Like if you were to say like 100 acres, I'd be like, my God, that's a lot. And if you were to like say like 1,000 acres, I'd be like, holy crap, that would be the biggest thing I've ever seen. No, not 1,000, 40,000 acres.
I don't even understand. Like, I don't even understand how you build that. I don't understand how you run that. I don't how you operate it, how you cable it.
Listen, man, when I was young, I was dumb enough to buy a riding lawnmower to cut 1 acre. 1 acre, Sanjay. I got a riding lawn. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I don't like I don't know if money was falling out of my ears or whatever. I don't know, but a riding lawnmower for 1 acre. This is 40,000 of them. So, imagine just the maintenance staff, just the maintenance staff of that. Like it.
I mean, yeah, like you couldn't even walk the thing in a day.
Oh no.
Like,
yeah.
I don't. Is it one building? Like it can't be one building.
Can't be one. The AC bill alone would be. I mean, like not just cooling, but like for everything else would be unbelievable. I can't even.
Well, and that's the thing, right? So, like, yeah, Utah, you folks out there, you're in trouble. Your power bill's going through the roof. And
very
then
warm.
Also thinking about water access. And I think they mentioned this, that Utah's going through a drought, and this is going to put more demand on all that. It's just, it's
so
craziness.
bad. Speaking of so bad, you're going to love this. The FCC wants your ID before you get a phone number. And apparently this is also going to apply to burner phones and prepaid phones, which I mean, this is horrifying on so many levels. Like domestic abuse victims often have to go get like some kind of burner phone for safety to be able to communicate with the outside. I mean, there's so many uses. And not only that, but what about people that can't get an ID for a variety of different reasons, because they can't take time off work, because they don't have a ride, because they're invalid, because, I mean, whatever reason, like, this is terrible on so many levels.
Yep. Yeah, the reasoning being they say that this will help them stomp down on robocalling.
BS. Yep. That is the biggest load of...
Why don't you actually do some of the things that you already have the powers to do, like the do not call registry, which, by the way, I am on, and I still get calls, and I report them
all
and I don't
the
think
time.
anything happens.
All the time. Yeah, do something. I don't know.
With that.
Maybe do your job. Let's do that. Do your job and don't add things to people's plates that they don't need and they can't afford and they can't handle. It just
so that you can then control and then be able to do other nefarious things with that data and that information. Not a fan. If you're not a fan, you should reach out to your representative if you're a U.S. citizen and tell them. For our friends that are overseas in other countries that are listening to the podcast, be happy you don't have an FCC like ours that is demanding this. Although this does remind me, back in the day, I had spent some time in Japan in the mid-late 90s, and I'd heard at that time it was hard, first of all, apparently, to get a phone line back in those days. And the reason is that you had to buy a license to be able to talk to the telephone company, and the license was thousands of dollars. And that was just to be able to talk to them in order to order a phone line to be installed. And so that actually hastened the adoption of mobile phones.
I bet it did.
Because, the kids were like, well, I'm not going to do that. So let me just get a mobile phone. I don't have to pay $1,000 to be able to have the honor of talking to the phone company.
That's crazy.
So there you go. Next up, California. I love this, by the way. California to begin ticketing driverless cars that violate traffic laws. Did you see the video here in Atlanta of 3 Waymos next to each other, taking up 3 different lanes They were all stopped. Traffic was piled up behind them because they came to a flashing red light and did not know what to do.
A flashing red light's like one of the more basic traffic things that you deal with. Like it's like it was a red light that was flashing. I see what you mean.
It was a red light
like
that
the
was
power
flashing.
had been out, and they didn't. Well, I'll tell you this. Nobody else knows that you treat that as a four-way stop in Atlanta. It's a free-for-all, man. When you pull up to that flashing light, like I'm stopping and they're just zooming through. Like I'm just like, it's like I've seen intersections in other countries that are kind of like full-out free-for-alls, you know, and people just figure it out. And I really admire the people that drive in those countries because they know what they're doing. American drivers don't know what they're doing. And we're still in it's crazy. It's but
a flashing red light in Atlanta, I think just means gun it.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it means. Yes, preferably with your speakers blaring if you can.
Obviously. So these companies that run these driverless cars are now going to get ticketed when they're.
I want to know how they're going to ticket them. I'd really like to see a police officer like chasing a driverless car to like slap a sticky note ticket like on the windshield or something. Like that would be kind of great. I know that's not what they're going to do, but in my imagination, that's how this happens.
You got to run and catch out and put it under the windshield wiper or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that?
or just like just a sticky note anywhere on the body. Like I just imagine a police officer like making the dive, like you're the second baseman for the for the Red Sox or something, like making the dive for the catch. You're dive to tag the car. You know,
it's got to be on the car to be valid. It's like getting a subpoena if you don't.
I kind of like that idea. Yeah, I mean, it's never going to happen, but I think it'd be fun. So. Anyway, all right, next up, Meta launches Instance, a new iPhone app and Instagram feature for ephemeral sharing. So it seems to me like it's Snapchat. It's Snapchat, but they don't disappear. Like they go into like a log or like on your profile later,
right?
And then
which
like
you can use
disappear
and see, but nobody else can.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah.
By the way, so I've seen these now. I don't like them. I'm going to turn off the note. I got to figure out.
I have not
to turn
seen
off the
them.
note.
I'm not
really.
I never go into any social media right now, like really at all.
Yeah.
So I just kind of
every now and again I open up Instagram. It's not that often.
No.
But I've seen these in there, and it's like this is annoying.
I was thinking about this. When's the last time? And I don't even know if you can still do it. When's the last time you used an Instagram image filter? Like you put an image on there. And you put a filter, like that's not even a thing. It's not even like it was the thing, and now it's not even a thing anymore at all. Like nobody does.
There are people that still do it. We
Really?
had this discussion recently. Yeah.
No.
I don't think I've ever done it.
That feels like an okay boomer sort of moment right there when you see that. You're like, all right, boomer. Mm-hmm. There you go. You do your thing.
I think that's the point of these instants on Instagram is that there are no filters. You can't use filters. It's literally supposed to be what you're doing right then, and just show that and then move on. So
Got it.
Snapchat again.
Snapchat.
Basically, that's.
And that's Meta's playbook is like steal whatever you can or buy whatever you can. Like that's the playbook. I'm a little surprised they took this long to do it. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Yeah. I guess they were like, well, what are we doing this week? We've got nothing to do.
We laid off all these people, and we have all this vibe coding, all these coding abilities with AI. So let's build something, you know? Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Or they just told it to figure out what to build, and it was like, I can't figure anything out. Let me just start doing other things.
Yeah,
stealing ideas from other platforms.
Fair enough.
So there you go. Somebody that's not stealing ideas, but is adopting ideas from other people. Spotify to adopt Apple's new video podcast tech. I really didn't know there was a new video podcast tech from Apple, and I don't really understand what it means, honestly.
I mean, essentially, it means like for a while with Spotify, to have videos on Spotify, Spotify had to be your podcasting host.
Right.
Now you're going to be able to have videos from other places, and they'll show up in Spotify now as well. So it'll be more ubiquitous for like video podcasts are going to get treated more like every other podcast by Spotify, which is nice. So I think that's good. The other thing that was interesting,
then they'll push it to Apple, right? Like that's the kind of the point too.
Yeah,
like,
well, I think both ways possibly. Yes. Yeah. The other thing that's interesting to me, and I don't know, I'm curious. So I opened up my phone today, and my Spotify icon on my phone, my app icon, is all janky, weird looking. And
weird.
It's like digital. I was wondering, is this something they rolled out to get more attention to their app, or is this just like something freaky is happening on my phone? I was curious. How's your app look?
I'm looking to make sure I don't have any updates. I don't have any updates. Yeah. It looks fine to me.
Okay, so it must be something weird with my phone. But like just the Spotify app alone looks crazy. Like I don't know. It's so strange to me. So.
I mean, they've changed some of the interface stuff, and it's interesting. So, like on Android Auto, the interface, and even on the app on the phone is now different. I don't know if you noticed. Before they used to have the line that was straight across for when you're playing through stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's a wavy line, which honestly, as a user interface thing, is very interesting, and I find it much more usable because when you're just looking at it, you can actually see the progress that's being made. Because when it's a straight line, it's kind of hard to see that it's moving at all.
Yeah,
but when it's a wavy line, you can see the movement. And
interesting. Okay.
It's super interesting. Like whoever came up with that and realized like this was an issue and this was the solve. I'd love to hear them talk through the process of figuring that out because I think it's really, really well done. It's a very minor kind of interface update, but I thought it was super brilliant.
All right, last up, YouTube viewers watch 2 billion hours of shorts on TVs each month. Listen, that's psycho. I'm just gonna tell you right now. That is straight up some psycho behavior right there. Like,
what do you mean?
You got YouTube Shorts pulled up on your TV and you're just clicking through those bad boys. Like that's like a whole different kind of doom scroll. That's crazy.
But don't they auto advance? I think they auto advance.
Oh, maybe they do auto advance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
that's
I think
maybe
when you
a
just
little
started, then it just starts going, and then you forget about it, and it just keeps running, and there's nobody in the room.
I kind of love the idea of it, honestly. I don't know that I would ever. I don't even watch YouTube videos on TV, much less YouTube Shorts. No, I don't ever watch YouTube videos on TV. So. I think my TV usage is very strange compared to some other people's. I mean, would you ever watch YouTube Shorts on your TV? Have you ever done this?
I've never watched YouTube Shorts. Like the only time we watch YouTube videos on TV is when we're talking about something and like, oh yeah, there's a YouTube thing on there, or we're searching for something specific and we all want to watch it together. Yeah, we'd rather watch it on the TV.
We're gonna watch the Savannah Bananas because it's always on YouTube. Speaking of, they just pinned a deal with Disney Plus. To do a bunch of stuff, a big
while
thing.
ago for this season, So they're streaming live, I think, on Disney Plus and a couple of other things.
But still streaming to YouTube too. Yeah,
and it's every game. I think it's not. So they have built a lot of momentum over the years.
It's unreal. The momentum they've built. It's
super fascinating.
Absolutely, but they're committed to fans first, so they always stream free. You can always watch it for free, which is amazing. So
love it.
I guess it's Weird and Wacky time, isn't it?
Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable Snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
So we've got just one on Weird and Wacky, and it is kind of wacky. Claude Meter turns your Claude Code usage stats into a tiny desktop dashboard. So this is a little.
I tagged this because you need it. That's why I tagged it. Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't need it. It's a little hardware device that sits on your desk, I guess, and the only thing that it does is shows you your Claude usage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess in some ways I do need it. I do actually end up going and looking at the interface and looking at my usage to see.
I maxed out my usage today already once for something, for sure. Yeah.
For the 5 hours or for the week?
I think it was for the 5 hours, but I haven't been back to look. So I could be, I hope it's not for the week. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, it is something that you have to keep worrying about. And so, this is interesting. I liked one of the comments, though. Somebody said, like, oh, given how much we all use Claude, Anthropic should just be sending one of these to all of us for free.
That's good.
Kind of not wrong.
I mean,
right?
but they don't want you to be tracking your usage. Like that's where they make their money is in high usage. Like that's we're the money makers. That's why somebody the other day was like, "Well, which Claude plan do you use?" I was like, "Oh, I use the $100 plan." Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's not even a. Why would you even ask me that question? Like, what kind of user do you think I am? You know.
I find it insulting that you would ask something like that.
Free plan, $20 plan. What? No.
Who do you think I am?
If I'm not using it enough to need the $100 a month plan, I'm not using it enough. Like that's the definition right there. If I'm not and I should be pretty close to maxing out that plan too. Like that's the plan. That's the goal. So
I love it. I don't know if you saw, but they just announced some new stuff where they are now opening up Claude and giving people that I think are in the $50 a month and higher plan the same amount of credit every month starting June, I think,
Okay.
to use those with things like OpenClaw and other harnesses so that you have
Interesting.
monthly credits that you can use against it as well.
Nice. That's great. Okay, I
So-
like that.
It's interesting.
Good to know.
Tech wreck, time to get your tech wreck.
Tech wreck. Chicky, chicky.
Tech wreck, time to get your tech wreck.
All right, Sanjay. Tech Rec time. What do you have for us?
So speaking of AI stuff, and I teased it on the top end, my tech rec of this week is a software called Paperclip.
Okay.
And what Paperclip is, it's basically an orchestration layer
Yep.
that you can run that helps you build an AI-based company.
Okay.
And I've been playing with this for a couple of weeks now, and I have actually launched it on one of my little side projects. So the side project of Atlanta.com, the directory that helps you find things in and around Metro Atlanta, now has a CEO, a CTO,
Okay.
a senior developer, a junior developer, and a data analyst,
Okay.
all working in concert together. And I file tickets, usually to the CEO, and let it figure out who's going to work on it. And then it'll analyze it, reassign it, do all the things.
Yeah.
And actually, just in the last couple of days, so up until recently, I did not allow any of the development team agents to push code live
Yeah.
to production. I've not now gone YOLO, and it will push code live whenever it wants, unless there's a change in the database that is required.
Okay.
And then I want to review it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, like last night or the night before at like 3 a.m., it pushed an update live to production, and I was asleep. And it's just doing things.
That's
and make it-
wild.
and I have given the CEO kind of the marching orders of what I want the company mission to be and how I want it to grow the site in terms of usage and then eventually revenue. And
Yeah. So
It's
all right, all
going.
right. So all right. So walk me through this. Like, so I'm a Claude user, right? Power Claude user. I'm a lovable user. I'm not really built standalone autonomous AI agents. So like from my perspective, like, is this useful for me? And if so, like describe to me how the setup works.
yeah, so it's interesting. So with Paperclip, the way you start is you only start out with one agent, the CEO of the company that you start. And you can run multiple companies
Okay.
within a Paperclip installation. And by the
Right.
way, you've got to install this locally, but they are now working on a cloud-based version of this as well. So,
Okay.
so back to the thing. So you start out with the CEO, you give them the mission marching orders, right?
Yeah.
From there, it figures out who it needs to hire. Then it asks you for permission to hire that person, that AI agent.
Okay.
And then if you approve it, it goes out and hires the agent. And then you can kind of set up the models that it's using and all that stuff. And then it just keeps working. Like it keeps doing things. It'll
Yeah,
figure
but
out
like-
when it needs agents.
Yeah, but like I set it up, right? And like
Right.
if I have to, it's local. It's set up locally. Do I have to give it access to my Claude API? To then is it what like
So,
what like what's
so
all,
yeah, so it's interesting. So with Paperclip, it can actually use a Claude install that's local. You don't have to use the
Okay.
API.
So you don't have to
can
use my
use your
tokens.
subscription.
Okay.
But
Got
I
it.
also use the other tool that I mentioned, I think before it was a tech rec, Hermes
Yeah, it was, yeah.
agent, Hermes agent.
Yeah.
And I use that because then I can switch between models very easily without having to monkey around with Paperclip. And
Mm.
then I can have it fall through. And so what I've done is I've actually used something that should be a tech rec for me in the future is OpenRouter. And I actually use free models from there
Mm. Okay.
to kind of feed in. So I have my the lowest level junior developer
Yeah.
is on a free model.
All right.
And so it's just kind of cranking through.
Yeah.
And I know that the higher up model, the senior developer, is going to check that code then
Right.
and make sure it's all good. And then the CTO is going to do even more of a check at that point.
Yeah.
So basically all of these things are kind of orchestrated, and you can use whatever models you want. You can use Codex from OpenAI. You can use Claude from Anthropic. You
Right.
can use Gemini models. You just have to have the API keys and have to set that
So-
up.
All right. So essentially I set up the CEO with Paperclip. I give it the API key for whatever it is, for whatever I
Yeah.
need, and I'm like, go build the thing. And it just kind of starts building the thing.
Basically, yeah, it'll start planning it out and then
Okay.
decide when it needs to hire and do all the things. So my setup was a little bit weird because I already had a code base set up and a functioning site. So I had to kind of figure out how to get it in there and start from like not scratch. And so it took a little bit to figure all of that stuff out and how to get all the pieces to work properly with each other. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's working 24/7 basically. And it's just running in the background, and every now and then I pop in there and I look at what issues are in there and the things that it needs me to make decisions on as the board. And then I make those decisions, and then it's like, okay, I got it. And then it starts working. I
got an idea I may want to set this up for. I'm gonna pick your brain offline about that.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool.
What about you, Adam? What do you have for us this week?
I started messing around with Captions.ai. It's an AI editing video editor, essentially. And so you just, upload your raw video, you say like, edit it in this style, it has like these styles captions and these types of cuts and whatever. And then the AI just goes and edits your video in that style. And it does a pretty, I edited one, it was pretty good. I edited another one in a different style, and it added in a bunch of weird B-roll, and I was like, that's terrible. So I think, it seems like a little hit or miss. It was odd. They didn't have a free trial. I had to pay up front for the month, which irritated me. But they did do a 50% discount for the first month. So I was like, all right, I'll go in for $11.50 to see if this is any good. Like that's worth it to me to try. I don't know if I'll use it long term or not, but I'll say if you are not a video editor at all and you want to create some kind of social videos quickly, this seems like a pretty good option. So it's worth a shot.
They show a free plan on their pricing page, but I don't know.
When I tried to log in and use it, it was the way it did. I think there is a free plan. I think I got screwed because I think their onboarding progression sort of made it seem like there wasn't, and so that irritates me a little bit as well. So
I don't pattern thing where they're trying to make sure that you pay money.
I think there are some dark patterns in there, dark UX pattern or whatever it is in there where they screw you over. But it is what it is. So all right, Sanjay, how can our listeners find and connect with you?
They can find me at sanjayparikh.com. What about you, Adam?
Well, first of all, I got to find our outro music. And,
where is the outro music?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Ready to dance, and there's no music.
It's coming. They can find me on my website, adamjwalker.com, which I've been strongly considering rebuilding that entire thing with Lovable, and that may happen in the near future. It's time for a refresh, and I don't see myself staying with WordPress for that. I don't know why I would. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You could always go to Ghost on Picapods. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't want to. Then I have to manually do crap. If I do a Lovable, I can just have AI do all of it for me. That's true. So.